All right, so this is a story time about how my uncle caught me red-handed talking shit about him. So rewind about a few years ago, my dad had some of my stuff, and me and him wasn't talking at the time, but that's another story time for later. He took all my things to my uncle's house. So I text my uncle and get the address since this was my first time going over to his house. So boom, he give me the address, I go over there. As I pull up, I'm just convinced that I'm just in the wrong spot because these are some rinky-dink project apartments. I'm convinced I'm at the wrong apartment. So I text my uncle, like, am I in the right spot? He's like, yeah, just come on around back. So y'all, I'm still looking around confused because for as long as I can remember, my uncle has always been that dude. He's always had the threads, the chromey things, the money. So I'm really confused as like, these just cannot be the apartments. But I digress and I go around back. I see my uncle, we hug, and I'm excited because he's always been my favorite uncle. So we go inside, we sit down, and we yip yapping talking, and I just cannot get over the fact on how rinky dink this apartment is, but at the same time, very familiar. By this time, me and my uncle done been inside the apartment talking about 30-40 minutes. And finally, I just couldn't get over the urge to ask him, Uncle, why does it look so familiar in here? He proceeds to tell me that, oh, all this is mama stuff in here. Mama being my grandmother, his mom. This all your grandma stuff in here. Yeah, this her coffee table. That's her couch we sitting on. That's her china cabinet over there. And y'all, I'm looking around like, can't be. We finna get into this coffee table. Cause y'all, it's a square coffee table and it has 4 glass panels. And why one of the glass panels is completely missing from the coffee table? Like I can completely stick my arm through the surface of the coffee table because a whole glass panel is missing. Now this is alarming because my grandmother passed away maybe a couple years prior to that. And her furniture, anybody who knew my grandmother knew she kept up with her things. She always had nice things. And even when I went to the house for the funeral, I wanted the furniture because it was nice stuff. I don't understand how in 2 years you done aged the furniture 20 years. But I don't say nothing. I just continue nodding and like, oh, okay. So what I do, y'all, I get out my phone and I'm texting my best friend. So I'm texting her, and for those of y'all who have an iPhone, y'all know when y'all send a message and that blue line be going across the top and you ain't got service, it'll stop at that last little part. That's what was happening to me. It just was taking forever for the message to send. So my uncle's still talking, going on, and I'm just staring at this blue line going across as if me staring at it was gonna make it send any faster, and it's just not sending. I guess the projects don't deserve Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. Now 3-4 minutes done went by and it still ain't sent. I'm still staring at the phone and my uncle is still talking. I'm staring at the phone, and as I'm looking, I just glanced up at the top of the phone and I realized it don't say best friend at the top. It say uncle. Oh my God. Now that I'm sending the message to my uncle and not my best friend, y'all, the moment I realized is the moment it sent, my phone said whoop and his phone said ding. It happened so quick, y'all. Before I can even think, I snatched the phone out his hand as he was picking it up to look at the message. I'm talking in one swift motion, y'all. I done snatched this phone smooth out his hand. And as I snatched the phone out his hand, he gonna ask me, who you sending that to? Y'all, when was y'all gonna tell me Android had face recognition? As soon as he picked up the phone and looked at it, he saw the message. It was nothing I could do. Man, I was so flustered, y'all. I can't even tell y'all what I told him. I had no words. To this day, I don't even remember what I said. I just remember trying to change the subject, and I stayed for maybe about 5-10 minutes, y'all. It had to be the most awkward 5-10 minutes of my life. I walked out of there so swiftly. And I done told y'all me and my dad weren't talking, but my dad and my uncle are best friends. So I just know my uncle called my dad like, let me tell you what your daughter did. And I can hear my dad now. See, that's what I be telling y'all. I got to my car and all I could do was call my auntie, his baby mama, and damn near cry about how mortified I was about the whole situation. Now I know y'all probably like, well, damn girl, what did the message say? Y'all, the message said, why he got my grandma shit in here looking all raggedy? Now, every time I see my uncle, it's always awkward. And to make it even worse, my aunt told me that he actually did have his little feelings hurt behind it. And I just feel so bad. Fast forward about a year later, I had to text my uncle for something. I don't remember what it was. But I go to the message, y'all. Why that was the last message I sent him. Y'all, I didn't even send the message. I just said fuck it because I don't want him to have to relive it. And I don't want to have to relive it. So, y'all, sorry, uncle. I love you, though. You still my dog.